We are having many awesome Big Ten versus SEC bowl games this season. We're seeing games like Maryland versus Auburn, Ole Miss versus Penn State, and of course the big playoff matchup between Alabama and Michigan, two powerhouses going at it with a lot on the line. But in this video, I wanted to preview the Cotton Bowl between Ohio State and Missouri, and also give my prediction on the game. But this game has a chance to be a fun one. And the line keeps moving a lot. At first, we seen Ohio State being pretty big favorites for this game. But then it slowly started creeping in Missouri's favor as Missouri became 1 point favorites recently. But now the line is back at Ohio State being 0.5 point favorites at the time this video is being made. And it will keep changing, so who knows what the spread will be when it's game time. So the spread on this game definitely thinks that this game will be a very tight game, and it should be a fantastic game. So today I will be previewing that game, which is the first of all the NY6 bowl games this year. And I know bowl games don't really mean as much as the playoff games, because of the opt-outs and transfers happening, but I wanted to show some appreciation to some of these awesome matchups we will have, so I will have more NY6 previews coming out soon. But before I get into this video, let me remind you to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Hope everyone is enjoying their holidays, but without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's start with looking at the success these teams have managed to have this season. Ohio State has had a top 3 defense all year, and their defense was dominant all season. Front 7 play was there, and the secondary could be fantastic at times. Anybody who wants to beat this Ohio State team needs to know how to be physical and win in crunch time. And unfortunately, Ohio State did fail to beat Michigan again, and they have now lost 3 in a row to Michigan. If you really ignore that game, you could say Ohio State has done everything right as a team, but ultimately they just couldn't win the big game against Michigan. But they are still a pretty good team. Michigan was just the better team. And a big part of the reason Ohio State may have lost was because of quarterback Kyle McCord. He just wasn't the elite quarterback one that Ohio State needed this year. But they also had trouble stopping Michigan's run game, and Michigan was the way more physical team. And that's been a big problem when Ohio State plays Michigan. But if you put that game to the side and look at the talent this Ohio State team has, you got guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. who stand out, a Hall of Fame caliber receiver. And we all know he's got a long way to go, but if you look at how he's starting his career, you could say he's on track. He will be a top first-round draft pick, and he was also a Heisman finalist this season. Ohio State is built as a program for providing NFL-caliber talent receivers, and a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. just adds on to the list. But if you look at the numbers he put up compared to other Ohio State receiving targets on that team, you'd say he basically carries that receiving corps. He had 1,211 receiving yards on the year for 14 touchdown catches. And the second place receiving leader is the tight end, Cade Stover, who only has 576 receiving yards, so Marvin Harrison Jr. doubles that. Marvin Harrison Jr. can win almost any one-on-one ball you throw to him, and it's going to be interesting to see him bring his talents to the next level going into the NFL. There's no denying the Ohio State offense had its struggles this year, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is a huge reason for this team being a legit playoff contender this year. And he will definitely play a factor in this game against Missouri, and I am pretty sure he will actually be playing against Missouri. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that, but from what I've heard, I'm pretty sure he will be playing. But quarterback Kyle McCord will not be playing for Ohio State as he hit the transfer portal, and he will now be the new quarterback for Syracuse in 2024. And Syracuse just lost a bowl game to 6-6 South Florida, 45-0. So yeah, Syracuse is completely in shambles. So have fun, Kyle McCord. But since Kyle McCord won't be playing for Ohio State, the next quarterback up is Devin Brown, who is a redshirt freshman, and he was a pretty solid recruit coming out of high school. He was one of the top quarterback options. But the question that may be asked is, will Ohio State stick to this guy and try to build the future of the program around him? Maybe if he has the skill, then he will start for the next upcoming years. But Ohio State could always go for a quarterback like Cam Ward. But we'll have to wait and see. But it will be interesting to see a younger quarterback like Devin Brown play against that Missouri defense that has been pretty solid this year. And it will be somewhere to start, and that will make that game even more interesting. But Ohio State lost a ton of players to the portal. They really did take some big hits to the team, but they will still have some key players. Like I mentioned, Marvin Harrison Jr. will be playing, but they will also have a cornerback like Denzel Burke, who is also an NFL caliber talent. He doesn't make an impact like Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's a player to watch out for, and he can make some elite plays, like getting a pick 6 when the game matters the most. So Missouri receivers will have fun with the defensive backs on Ohio State. I'm excited to see this matchup just to see how good Missouri actually matches up with Ohio State, but this should be an awesome game. Missouri played Georgia really tough, and they had a legitimate chance to win that game. And Missouri has been one of the more surprising teams this year. It's going to be interesting to see how tough up front Missouri can actually be against that tough front 7 of Ohio State, because Missouri did a pretty decent job running the ball against Georgia and getting some good pushes on the line. Missouri is a very solid team, and they may be better than a lot of people think they are. They are a very well coached team, and they also have a solid quarterback who has shown more improvement this year in Brady Cook, who threw for over 3,000 yards with only 6 interceptions on the season. He was also solid last year, but you always got to take that next step, and he definitely got a bit better this year. And he definitely will play a factor, being that Missouri will have an experienced quarterback, while Ohio State has a guy that hasn't even gotten a chance yet, and he has still got a lot more to learn as a player. Missouri will also have their stud running back, Cody Schrader, who was one of the best running backs this season. Some may argue he's the best running back in the country, and if you look at his numbers, he's definitely one of the best. He has ran for just over 1,500 yards on the season and for 13 touchdowns. And like I said before, that Missouri offensive line is pretty tough, and they can compete with anybody. And they only kept getting better throughout the season. Missouri also has a very solid defense, so that will also play a factor. Missouri has forced 18 turnovers on the year, and they have guys that can make plays on defense. It's going to be interesting to see Ohio State's front seven versus Missouri's rushing attack, because that's a matchup we all want to see. Ohio State hasn't really played any teams with very good running backs outside the game against Michigan, who has a guy like Blake Corum. But it will be hard to stop that rushing attack of Missouri, and people may think Ohio State will walk over Missouri, but I don't think that will be the case. Ohio State has had a lot of guys transfer out, and they have a completely new quarterback, while Missouri will have a lot of talent in this game, and they are extremely motivated to get a much-needed New Year's 6 bowl game win. This game could go either way in my eyes, but it's time to give my predictions for Ohio State versus Missouri in this year's Cotton Bowl. And I do have Missouri pulling off the upset and winning a close one, 27-24. Missouri has been solid all year, and they really fight till the end, and they've had a spectacular season, and it would be awesome to see a team like Missouri finish their season with the win against a really good Ohio State team, and I do think it's possible. I think Missouri does have a chance to win the line of scrimmage battle in this game, and Cody Schrader should run the ball pretty well, like he has all season. And they will also have the better quarterback, or at least the more experienced quarterback. But like I said, we don't know how well this Devin Brown kid will perform for Ohio State, but they will need him to step up. But this should definitely be an interesting game. But you guys should let me know down in the comments below who you got winning this game. Ohio State was probably the better team this year, but I feel like a lot of things are favoring Missouri in this game, and the spread has been very tight. But the analytics do have Ohio State at a 75% chance to win, so analytics say different. But I believe this Missouri team could pull it off, and they have some talent returning next year, so it will be interesting to see if they can repeat their success next year and maybe make the 12-team playoffs. And for Ohio State, you may have lost a lot of players, but you guys are loaded with talent and still have time to make some moves within the portal, and you are stacking up on your recruiting class, including signing a 5-star receiver who was one of the best in the class. But next year, it will get tougher for you. You will have more competition, and for Ryan Day, you will have everybody relying on you to find a way to beat Michigan. But Ohio State will likely be in the 12-team playoffs next year. But despite whatever outcome happens in Missouri versus Ohio State, I have to say I'm very excited for next season, and I'm going to miss college football. We will all have to wait until next year for the new 12-team playoff, which is a long wait. But the matchups we have next year will be huge. But anyways, that is going to do it for the video. Hope you all enjoyed the preview, and I will have more previews coming out this week, so tune in for more. But let me remind you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. I hope everybody is enjoying their holidays, and I hope you guys are excited for the new year. Everyone be sure to set new goals for 2024 because it's a new year, and I will also have a lot of videos planned for 2024, and I would like to start posting on TikTok and YouTube Shorts to continue growing. And thanks to all the support you guys leave on the channel, because in the end, none of this is possible without the fans. So thanks to everyone who watches, but that's it guys. Happy holidays, and peace out.